Unite Technologies specialises in the optimisation of the data centre space in terms of looking after the physical infrastructure within a data centre, which includes power, environmental conditions like temperature, humidity, also security. And what we provide are solutions, integrated solutions, which allow customers to actually know exactly what's going on in their data centre, so they can then look at optimizing their processes, their infrastructure, and also to be able to put a stake in the ground to say, well, this is where we are now. What do we need to do to be able to go forward, to be able to actually know in 18 months' time, do we have the space, do we have the capacity to actually meet the demands of the business? Today, a lot of people are talking about new data centers, about implementing solutions within new data center space. But there's also a lot of data centers which are legacy data centers already in use. And there's requirements in this area which is relatively untapped, yet it's a big issue because there's probably more legacy data than there are new data centers. So we also need to have a look at what solutions do we need to have to be able to take existing facilities and upgrade them to meet today's and tomorrow's demands. I think the first thing is there is a lot of hype in the marketplace about going green. It is important. Companies have corporate responsibilities environmentally, and they're actually using that, and it has effects on their share prices. But more importantly, it's actually being able to reduce costs. If you actually go green, you're actually reducing costs. So you're actually affecting the bottom line. And as a business, that's obviously very, very important. We spent a lot of time working in the UK with the government and also the Carbon Trust, where we have a number of solutions which have been approved, and companies with large data centres get incentives for actually using solutions that allow them to be energy efficient. And effectively what we can actually do is reduce their carbon footprint by a factor of X. But what it actually does, it actually reduces their energy costs by a factor of 10x. So cost and energy go hand in hand, but by far the biggest asset to the company is actually the reduction in costs. If you reduce costs, you reduce your energy use, then by default you're green or greener. There's going to be legislation. It's already happened in a number of countries, including the UK, whereby there will be a point, and it's not just data centre, it's actually corporate UK, corporate India, and there will eventually be a list of corporates, and it will almost be a naming and shaming, and it will actually tell you which corporates are actually green, which aren't green, and also which companies are actually taking issues seriously and going green. And that it will be a legislative pressures then to actually deploy and be seen to actually take this subject very seriously. And people will be foolish not to, because again, if you're going green, you're actually becoming more profitable, and therefore your shareholders will actually demand it as well. The problems are still the same. It's always been heat or cooling, power, security of power. One of the big issues is, where is our power going to be in 5 years? Where's it going to come from? So we got, and also space. Space is also a premium for various areas. So the problems have been with us for a while, and they're going to stay with us for quite a while. So there's various technologies that people are using, but I think the technologies, it's not technology for technology's sake, it's how we actually use it, how we apply it, and how we can then take the solutions and then integrate it, and integrate all the solutions, so both facilities and operations departments can actually work together. They can understand each other's problems and responsibilities. So it's a holistic approach, and also to have almost like a single point where you can actually collect all the information about the data center, give that information to all the relevant people precisely on time, so they can act on it and actually help themselves to manage their data center efficiently. They need to be able to collect the information. Data is king. If you've got data, you can actually then do something about it. If you don't monitor or understand your facilities, your processes, then you're never going to be able to optimize. So it's all about being able to collect information, and then once you've got that information is how you can present it into various reports to allow you to actually drive your business forward. And to look at everything holistically. It's no good just saying, right, we're going to have a new data center, we're going to employ the latest technology, latest techniques. Well, what about your legacy data centers? These also need to be looked at, and you need to deploy those techniques to get those upgraded to a level of functionality that you require. And it's then being able to use the techniques to do that non-invasively, so you don't actually affect live production data centers. So you've got to look at everything. You've also got to look at the back office. It's no good just looking at the data halls within the racks. You've got to look at the offices, you've got to look at your desking. So you've got to look at the point of entry of power and cooling into a building, down to an individual rack, down to an individual piece of equipment. And once you can collect that information and then present it, then you've actually got the tools to allow you to have an efficient facility.